You are watching or listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, bringing you your daily dose of business and technology to educate, empower, and inspire small business owners. Be sure to subscribe to the show today.
Good morning, all my Gwinnetians out there in Gwinnett Land and all of my friends around the world. It's a beautiful day here in Gwinnett County. It's cloudy, but it's like 67 degrees, so it is lovely. I'm happy to have my guest today, Miss Kalisha Pridgeon. We are here. We're going to be talking about her business because we talk business and technology on this show. I'm not talking tech today, but I am talking business, so you're in for a treat. Miss Kalisha Pridgeon is the owner of Interglow Skincare, which I think that's amazing. I saw some of the pictures on your website, and I saw this one person. For Black women, anytime we have something going on under our arms, we don't want to do anything. We want to keep our arms like this, even though we shave. And I was like, wait a minute, that's interesting. Because I know somebody like that. They're very fair skinned, but under their arms is very dark. So we're going to talk about that later. But welcome to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show. How are you today?
Good morning. I am well today. How are you?
I'm good. I woke up with some challenges and I went to bed with a few challenges, but God is good and I'm good. So that's all that matters.
Yes, that's all that matters.
So now, I see you have the skincare line, and I want to talk to you about that, how you launched it, why you launched it. But before I get to that part, give us a little background about Kalisha and where you started from. Where you from? Are you born here in Georgia? Were you in corporate America and dropped out? Are you a corporate dropout? Tell us a little bit about Kalisha.
So, my history is I've been 17 years working in corporate America, and currently still do, but that's soon coming to an end. I'm just gonna try to step out on faith. I do have a background where I went to school for chemistry to be a forensic scientist, and then I branched off and went back and got my master's degree in business. I've been a business owner since I've been 17, but I've actually just now a little under 10 years just really taking it seriously because it was pushed to me, when I was younger for my mom's business, and then I branched off and did my own.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just want to be my own boss. I don't want to work for anybody no more. I had my fair share of corporate America and I'm over it. So that's where I'm coming to a point now in my life, like where I feel like I want to move towards just being a full-time entrepreneur.
Okay. So now you say you went to school to be a forensic scientist. What made you? I was good. So my best subjects in school were science and math, but nobody told me that I could go to school to be anything except for an accountant, which to me that was boring. So I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work for me. So I go to school and I get kicked out because of that. But anyway, that's my story. You obviously were good in science. So what made you to pick forensic science of all things? I think that would be a little tough.
It was tough. So the thing is, I knew I didn't want to be in school for the amount of years to be a doctor. But I was like, okay, let me branch off and let me see if I could do better with dead bodies instead
Ooh.
of live bodies, because you have the potential to mess up and potentially, take someone's life by accident or whatever, because doctors had those type of lawsuits all the time. So I was like, maybe I should do dead bodies. And then when I got in there, I was like, oh no, this is not for me. So after that, I was like, yeah, I just want to work in a lab. And then after the lab, I was like, no, I think I want to be around people. And I still got my degree because I was just like, I'm already in it, let me finish.
Yeah.
And
You know what's
I
crazy
finished.
about that? I think about people who work in funeral homes, right? So I have a friend. She went to school for X-ray, so she's an X-ray technician. But then she went back to be a mortician, and I was like, "You gonna be doing dead bodies?" And she's like, and she had no qualms about it. I worked in a hospital for 8.5 years, and on the sixth floor was the morgue. I
Mm-hmm.
never went to the sixth floor. It's like not gonna
Right.
happen. I'm not going to the sixth floor under no circumstance, and I never did. So I can't even imagine me trying to go and be a forensic nothing. I could
Yeah.
barely. I went to school to be a nurse, so I went to school to
Oh,
be a
okay.
girl. I dropped out in the last year in clinicals.
Oh,
Right,
yeah. They
my
said that's the
first.
toughest.
I didn't even the first day of clinicals. My
Yes.
first day of clinicals, we had to do we had to change a colostomy bag. So I barely got through. I barely got through the dissection of the rat, right? Barely. I didn't touch the rat. They put blood on my hands, like, you gonna make us fail. So they put blood on my gloves to make it look like I was a part of the team.
Right.
My mom told me though, she's like, why are you going to school for that? I was like, because they make a lot of money, they get a lot of time off, and they travel. That was my thought. I
Mm-hmm.
was young, I didn't know any better. So that was my thought process. But yeah, I barely made it through. So kudos to you for even getting that far and at least sticking your toe in. I got to the like first day of clinicals. They came out the room. I was standing outside the door with my back against the wall like this, like,
Yeah,
not
I'm
gonna
a,
happen.
not gonna happen.
Not gonna
Right.
happen. Not gonna
Right.
happen. So now fast forward. So now you said so you come from a line of entrepreneurs. Your mom was an entrepreneur or is an
Yes.
entrepreneur.
Yes.
So what did she do?
Right now she owns her own trucking company.
Nice.
But previously she was a loan and mortgage loaner, and she did bad credit check, fixed credit checks. She also was a minister. She owned a church. So
Wow.
my mom is just the Jackie of all trades. Let me say
Yeah.
that.
She's a
So
diehard. I
yes.
call your mom a diehard. I'm a diehard like that. Like I told my husband when we first met, he was first he's supposed to be an investor. That's what he told me. He's going to invest. And I was like, okay, cool. Cause I didn't know him. And then he tried to date me. And I'm like, look, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a diehard to the day they put me in the box. I don't know if you want to date me because our money is funny most of the time. So I don't know if you want to do that. He's like, I'm good for it. So we've been together 23 years.
Oh, that's great.
So
That's
he said he was good for it. He has stuck around because I can tell you right now, he hear an earful about what's going on in my life when it comes to entrepreneurship. But so you got the bug from your mom, who's a diehard, and you started at 17. How old are you now?
I'm 37.
37. Okay, so you've been doing this for 20 years. You decided to launch a skincare line. We know that industry is pretty saturated. Well, let me say this. That's what we think. We think it's saturated. I'm not in it, so I don't know. So you're saying it's saturated. So what made you decide to go into the skincare business? Because we know it's a lot of people out there doing this.
I just feel like with my background of having the chemistry and knowing just certain chemicals, certain plants, certain substances, that I decided to create my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, maybe people will cling more towards the natural skincare products.
Yeah.
And that's when we had that big boom. Everybody wanted to be natural this, natural that. And I got a lot of credit for, just having my own skincare line, not only for women, but for men too, as well.
Yeah. I was introduced to the skincare products, like the type that you make way back when. I don't know if you've ever heard of a company called Warm Spirit.
Mm-mm.
So Warm Spirit was started by a Black woman out of New Hampshire. Her name is Nadine Thompson. And the company was uber successful, but she had a business partner. And once she got to a level of success, he took the company from her.
Wow.
Because he had a majority stake in the company. But when the company came out, everybody was on that whole, body butter. I love body. Like I have 3 body butters at all times in my house because I love body butters. And that was the first time I was introduced to it. So there is a huge marketplace out there. So that being said, how do you set yourself apart? Because it is a lot of competition out there. It is a saturated market and people love body butters.
I think the only way I've made it probably this far I just kind of stay in my own niche. Like I'm good with body butters and sugar scrubs and the basics of sticking to what is natural. A lot of my facial washes are made from aloe vera only, and the sugar scrubs are not the sugar scrubs that you see in the store that from the major top brands. Mine's is actually made from natural sugar cane with essential oils and healing properties from natural ingredients such as papaya, turmeric. I had so much rose petals. There's chamomile in some of them, and those essential things they're not going to put in the store bought sugar scrubs. So I feel like I set myself apart that way. But it's all up to the person to take that leap of faith to willing to try a smaller brand, because we just go to the store and we buy things and we look at how appealing they are and they want to try it. But
Mm-hmm.
it's also other smaller brands that you can purchase from that offer results, real results that stuck with the natural aspect of the product. So it's just up to the person. I feel like our culture is natural, so that's what I attract.
Yeah. You know, the other thing too, like I only buy my body butters from smaller companies. Like every body butter I think I've bought in the last probably 5-10 years has been from a smaller company. Like I was at a street fair somewhere and there was a body butter. And for me, I know I'm not gonna see them again because they're at a street fair. So I buy 2 and 3 at a time. And this time I bought 2, and then someone bought me 2 for was my birth for Christmas. So I bought 2 from this lady. It's amazing, and she has some nice sized jars. And then I used up all of them. And then somebody bought me 2 for Christmas, and I was like, oh my god, because I had just ran out. Oh my god! So I was
Right.
excited about this. So, you're right about that. I think word of mouth is great. Um, when it comes to things like this. Now, are you doing the manufacturing yourself in house, or do you have an outside manufacturer? Do you have like a manufacturing facility? How are you producing?
So for I do both. For my
Okay.
sugar scrubs and my body butters, I make myself and I package them, seal them up, everything for myself. For my higher end products like my facial washes and stuff, I do manufacture with them. But the key thing about this manufacturer, I gave him my formulas and we signed a contract to work with each other to use my formulas. So it's
Mm.
not something they created, it's something I created. And he just bonded and made sure that it was within the guidelines of, of skincare product.
So now how does that work? Because I know for me, I'm a little bit like, and the older I get, the less trusting I become because people will burn you every time. Even people that you think are cool with you, you can trust, they will burn you. So the older I get, the less trusting I become. So how do you turn your formula over to someone and feel like, okay, I can trust you with this because that's your baby.
Um, so the thing is, I didn't give him exact.
Mm,
So I didn't give him exact. I feel like you just never give all like your
right.
info. You don't give it too much, but I left a portion up to them to like tweak it. But
Hmm.
I gave them like, you know, my base. This is what I
Right.
want. And
Right.
then this is what I need. I need it to show results. If it doesn't show results, I don't want it. And
Right.
then that's how I went from there. I
Okay.
never gave them my true formula. I just feel like when I get that caliber of success to do that and have my own warehouse to mix my own products, then I could truly go back and fall back, on my own to manufacture something I want. But I'm not at that caliber yet, so I have to play the road of the rules. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
when I get to that caliber, I'll do that.
I like that because we're working with a woman now. She has a clothing company, and we had a meeting with her last week. She and her goal is to just manufacture in the United States. Like she's like, I want my company to be manufactured. So she manufactures now. She's expanding, but she wanted to stay there because I said to her, you're doing clothes. It's a lot easier to make it offshore, right? We know that already. That was a
Right.
no for her. She's like, I've been around the world. My manufacturing facility has to be right here in the state of Georgia, and it's here now. She's expanding, so I think that's important for a lot of people um, who are have a product that they're going to manufacture. I think the challenge becomes, hiring people, because at that point you need to be in a position where you can pay people a good wage so they can come to work and be happy to come to work. The other thing too is surround yourself with good people and happy folks. So that's
Yes.
another thing, girl. Like I'm having some times right now, and it's crazy because you want people to see your vision, but you want them to also come, ready to work, ready to support, and not kicking you in your back every chance they get. So I get that
Exactly.
part. That's
Exactly.
so now. Do you have a team?
No, I don't. I'm a one person team right now. I'm not gonna say I don't have a team. I do. I do have my family that will help me if,
Yeah.
my orders expand. My mom will kick in, my sister, my niece, my nephew, and my daughter, myself. But I haven't got that caliber of success just yet that I want that I'm potentially want to reach, or I could say I am going to reach. So when I get to that point, I'm going to be looking for some people too.
Yeah.
I'm definitely am.
Well, let me tell you something. You got a team. You got a support system right there around. You got a mother with a ton of expertise and experiences that I'm sure she don't mind sharing. You
Yeah.
know, you got your family. You know that's your team. I talk to a lot of people, and sometimes they don't have anybody. It's just them. And I'm grateful that I have my daughter and my husband. My husband has been my ride or die, and my business partner Georgette. The three of them have been my ride or die the entire time. And my mom was also my ride or die before she passed away. So I count myself blessed. I've never had a major big team. And the older I get, Kalisha, I don't think I want one. I don't think I
Yeah.
want to manage people like that. I feel like, you know, once you get to a certain level, like when I was younger in my 30s, because I kind of kicked off at 33, it was like the big dream, right? And I still had a big dream, but I have learned to scale it down a bit. And I've learned that not everybody needs to be in your circle, not everybody needs to be on your team. I've learned all that. So you looking like you know that.
Yeah. I know that. That's why I kind of, I'm not gonna say I stay to myself, because at the same time I am a people person,
Yes.
just because of my background in corporate America, and I'm still currently in corporate America.
Yeah.
I am a very personal, but I keep my business prospects to myself, because you do have those people that steal your ideals and run with it,
Yeah.
and they have the funds or the back end to support it. And they might have taken your idea, they're not going to give you credit for it.
Oh.
So I do keep my circle small. I have my good share of people that I reach out to and hang with and talk to and communicate with, which are also entrepreneurs.
Yep.
And I hope to find a good steady group outside of my family one day.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't happen, I won't be mad at it.
Yeah, like we have I have some really amazing entrepreneurial friends. And then I have, but those are the people that we talk nothing, like we can sit for hours and talk nothing but business. And I love them because my husband supports me, but he's not that person. Like we talk about sports, we could talk football all day long. My entrepreneur friends, we can talk business all day long, and then I got my married friends, we can talk marriage all day long. So, I got a small circle, and I realized, and I used to say this because so there was a person in my family who was extremely famous, and I remember we were at a restaurant one time, and we were eating dinner, and this guy came up, he asked for an autograph. He's like, I'm with my family right now, right? And the guy was kind of rude, he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm with my family right now. So he kind of pushed him off. And so being around that person, I could never understand like why he didn't have like people, like more people around him doing things. Why wasn't he helping more people? I later learned that even when you try to help people, right? Even when you try to help people, they are ungrateful, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they would try to take you down if you let them.
Yep.
And so
just with their energy too.
Oh my God, talk about the energy, ma'am. Talk about the energy is the energy has made me make a really critical decision. Like it's like when I get bad energy, I'm like, yeah, I can't. Like I'm protecting my energy and protecting my peace. So what are some of the practices you do to protect? Because I know you have this, your company is called Inner Glow, and it was so funny. It was so funny because when I woke up this morning, I was like, Lord, I'm gonna need some of Kalisha Inner Glow today because last night was rough. And then this morning, it's like, okay, seriously, it's the energy. So what do you do to keep yourself grounded and keep your inner glow going?
One thing I strive on is to be positive, and I'm a prayer.
Yeah.
Even when I'm going through stuff or challenges that I'm a prayer. I'll sit silently and just in my space, I set that boundary. I gotta pray. I gotta take time out to pray because some people will try you in your mental, and you have to step back a second and just pray. I need that peace. I need that guidance, Lord. Just guide me, help me, ground me in this state where I feel like I need that help at that moment, or even if I don't need help, I'm just a consistent prayer. You gotta pray, and then I feel like once you meditate, or if you could use prayer as a form of meditation to ground yourself in the instance just that quick. I prayed in 2 seconds in my head and I feel a little bit better. You got to move out of that space. Don't allow somebody else to affect you. You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
I love that, and you're right about that. It's so funny because I had to learn that because I have been reactive most of my life, right? Very
Mhm.
reactive to the point where, my brother has always been the person to kind of keep me grounded, so I didn't be reactive. So, and I know when people are trying to push my buttons and make me become reactive. So I've learned, like, okay, Audrey, they want you to react. Don't give them
Mhm.
the energy. Don't do that. And so, and I had to give myself a pat on the back for that. So what you're saying, prayer is great. Let me tell you what else I do. I journal. Like when I get to the point where I just need to let it out, I have to journal. And
Yeah.
so that's a good form of like getting grounded again
Yeah.
and getting my energy back up.
Yeah. Yes, writing your thoughts down
Yeah.
is definitely a big one. I think that's one of the key things they said. Like, just write your thoughts down,
Yeah.
because sometimes you may not have nobody to talk to at that split, and so you may be calling somebody on the phone, and they might not answer. So write it down.
And sometimes you
That's
don't
one
want to call
release.
anybody. Like I had a call last night and I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to get it out my head and write it down. And what I did was I didn't even write that part down. I wrote down what I was grateful for the day because I wasn't grateful for that call. I was like, I'm grateful for this. You
Yes.
just work on gratefulness, right? To change the energy.
Yes.
I'm grateful, Lord. Yeah,
Yes.
I know you're throwing obstacles against me, but I'm grateful. So
Yes.
so when you started the business, what was your startup cost? Like, what was the process like? I know for a lot of times you have to get a license for your business where you live and things like that. Are there certain criteria when you start a skincare business? Like, do you have to go to the FDA and the DEA and all these different kind of companies to get approval for launching a business that pertains to what people got to put something on their skin?
So a lot of this is where the part where I said I work with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like I said, me having my chemistry background is a little different from someone else.
Yeah.
So what they have are called private labeling companies that are already got FDA approved
Yeah.
or have the products manufactured through their company, and they've already got approval for, this whatever you may need.
Yeah.
So a lot of people go through, a lot of your top brands go through private label
Yep.
companies.
Yep.
And then when they do that, they the rest is up to your marketing aspect. So
A lot of people frown on and so when Warm Spirit was out, I was a Warm Spirit consultant because I love the products, right?
mhm.
And then they went belly up because a guy took the company. When he took the company from her, the company fell, like it crashed because she was a company, and
Yeah.
I guess he thought he was going to be able to take it and run it. But anyway, he took the company from her, and then the company crashed and burned. Um, so I looked into private labeling because I wanted to get into that space, and this was years ago. This was probably early 2000s, late
2000s.
1990s, is way back when.
Mhm.
So we didn't have that many. So she had the market. She pretty much had the coin on the market. But I looked into private labeling, and back then, I didn't know that you could give them your formula. So I kind of looked at it and I was like, yeah, I can't work with them because I don't know what they put in that stuff. Like, I'm not trying to, my mind was, I don't want nobody breaking out talking about they broke out from my product. But now, fast forward to the day, I saw this young man the other day. He was on a podcast video show I was watching. He does nothing but private labeling. People don't even know they know his face now because he was on that show. But he
Right.
has 2 or 3 skincare products that he private label and put them together as a package. I think he makes something like $16 million, all private label. And the guy was like,
Yep.
"So you mean to tell me you didn't come up with anything?" Like, I didn't come up with nothing. And it's
Nothing.
a skincare product. It's a stretch mark product. I think it is for stretch marks, and
Mm.
it was stretch marks and something. It was for women, and they don't even know who he is. I said now they know who he is because he did the interview. So talk about the process of private labeling because I feel like for me, if I have a formula, and my husband works in pharmaceutical, so he and I always talk about me making a weight loss formula that you can just throw back, right? We talk about that
Right.
all the time because I know he can mix it up like you. He can formulate it, tell me what's wrong. Do I need to get
Mhm.
DEA and FDA approved? He can tell me all that stuff. And we talk
Right.
about that a lot because I was like, I'm bad at taking vitamins, bro, and I need something I can just pop back when I brush my teeth. So we've talked about that plenty
Exactly.
of times. But talk about that process. Like, how do you find a private labeler? Like, especially when they say, okay, we'll take your formula.
Okay, so when you're looking for a private labeling company, the our best friend in this day and age, because it wasn't no Google and all these things. So the fastest and quickest way is just to Google.
Yeah.
Then you have the girlies on and the men on YouTube. a lot of people will tell you these private label companies off bat. Then you have the people that are on Instagram, um, TikTok. It's so many these little brands that'll sell you a private labeling list for a low cost. Maybe sometimes I think they're $25, $30, maybe 15. And that's just another person's way of getting, they sell the private labeling list. A lot of people travel around the world and they go to other vendors and see how they thing, and then they put them all together for you, and then they resell them to you. But the most easiest and quickest way to do is just Google it. Get online, figure out what your niche is, and get on there and search it. Then you put in private label. It's a private label for everything nowadays. Yep. And I too know what you're talking about. Back in the early 2000s, this is before I even graduated high school, and just about probably around 99, 2000, when they thought the world was coming, you couldn't find none of that. You couldn't find none of that. It was for a select group of people.
Yep.
If you didn't have the money to know, you weren't gonna know.
You didn't know, and if you didn't know the terminology, because I come from like that was a background. Plus, I come from a background of manufacturing, so I kind of knew a little bit about manufacturing because we had we invented the first plus size fashion doll, my partner Georgette and I. So we had to learn how to manufacture offshore, taking the idea out of my head, turning it into this thing and manufacturing off, and never set foot on China's soil ever. It was like we did everything by AOL.
Yes.
That was my email. AOL.
Dial up.
Yeah, dial up. So that's how we did it. But when I got to Warm Spirit and they crashed, I was like, I like this. I want to keep doing it. But even with that, like I was a little bit skeptical because I didn't understand the process. And by then I didn't know my husband then. Now I know him. I know differently. So I didn't know. There are people watching right now, and they may say, well, what are some of the restrictions when you do private labeling versus, but here's the other thing. Ego get in the way for some people sometimes, right?
Yes.
It's mine. I want to do it myself, and it slows you down because you can go to a private labeler who can say, you know what, we're going to use your formula and we're going to pump out a lot more. What are some of the restrictions that you found with a private label, if any at all?
I noticed that some private labeling companies will not take your formula just because they don't want that lawsuit on them.
Right.
So sometimes private labeling can be a good and a bad thing. But what I've learned to find when I found that I wanted to use somebody out, just calling around, asking, I went through a manufacturer that had a private labeling, and they do both. So they will take your formula, put it in their lab, break it down, whatever, and test it. And then they will private label it for you, package it, everything for you.
Nice. Does that, so when it comes to doing your manufacturing process, because I know when we were doing our manufacturing, we were able to get short runs of stuff, which means it was like a few hundred, right? I think the most we ever got was like 1,000 or something. But a lot of companies won't do short runs. So for those of you who don't know, a short run is a small quantity of something, like there's a small unit cost. Are you able to do short runs, or is it a requirement that you have to have a minimum before you can actually, get your products produced?
So that comes with your research, because there's some private label companies that only take, I think they call them MOQs, that only take a certain amount, and they you can only do large batches because that's what they do. They do the large caliber batch, but you have to do your research because some private labels do both, and some only do one, which is the large scale.
Yeah.
But now you see it, the businesses want the income, they want the money. Yeah. So they're doing both.
Yeah.
They've scaled down and they can do scale up.
Yeah. And that's really interesting. So for those of you who don't know what MOQ is minimum order quantity. So that's what an MOQ is. And because some of them may say, we'll do this, but we need 5,000. Like I'm working on something I've been working on for an entire year for the chamber. And when I tell you, we only need 20. We only need 20. And because we only need 20, it's like I've been pulling my hair out trying to find one manufacturer to give us that 20. I finally found one. It's a lot of money because it's a small quantity. But I'm like, oh my God, I just want to get it over with at this point because it's something that I supposed to did like, throughout the year. And I'm literally rolling up on 1 year next month. I'm like, oh,
Right.
but people don't understand that part because that's a process. Like when you're
It's a
working
process.
with a manufacturer, there are turnaround times. You have to, especially if you're doing something overseas, you have to take all of that into account. Like right now, I think Chinese New Year is probably just now over. So if you had anything that went in January, right before Chinese New Year, it's not being worked on because they shut down for 2 complete weeks. So
Yep.
my manufacturer sent me the sample. I was like, look, bro, I like it. We're going to Chinese New Year. I'm like, oh my God. So it's like that type of thing. But
Yep.
so when you think about growing the business and scaling, what do you see that for yourself? Because I'm what I'm learning now, and there are a lot of people who say, I just want to be the sole person in my business. I don't need to grow that much. It don't take me 10 million to live. You know, what do you see yourself with that?
I still would like myself to grow to a large scale because I want to create generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
I want the longevity of my brand as averse to it just being a smaller brand.
Yeah.
Because I feel like once you get to that large scale, you move into other deals,
Yeah.
other promotions.
Mm-hmm.
I want to move to that scale where I have models wearing my stuff and using my products. I want to get to that scale where it's in Macy's.
Yeah.
And that's generational wealth for not only my child but my family.
Yeah.
So that's what I still want that. I don't know. I don't want to be a small brand forever.
And most of the people I've seen who said that have been men.
See?
Like they've been men. They was like, look, we like this, just me figuring out my thing and setting up these agencies, and it's just me, and I got maybe a couple of contractors somewhere else in the world, but for the most part, it's just, and they're doing great. I'm not going to front. They're doing millions. They're not doing tens of millions, but they're doing millions. So, and for them, I guess it was like the balance. I'm like, what? It's men. I was like, everybody I see who said it has been a man. I too have that desire to have a legacy company, which is interesting because my daughter and I had the conversation, and she was like, "Yeah, you don't have to build it for me because you do too much work. You don't have any balance in your life," which is funny. Which is funny. So I was like, "Well, I'm going to build it to sell, so you can have the money to carry on whatever legacy you decide to carry on." She's like, "I could do that." So
I could do that. Yep.
that's I'm in the build it to sell phase. But to the point where it can create legacy money, that kind of thing. If there's somebody watching right now, they're thinking, I want to start this business. I want to get into skincare. What are you doing to grow the brand?
Lately I just been focusing on, other ways to market my name.
Yeah.
So I went on TikTok Shop, trying to figure out their algorithms and how they, want and get other people to use their products to brand them for them and do lives and content creation. Because the girls are blowing up on TikTok Shop.
They are.
If you don't know, the girls are blowing up on TikTok Shop, and I want to be one of them businesses that blow up off of that, because you don't just have me watching from the US, you have everybody from around the world watching. And if I could gain another avenue of reaching international customers too, I will take that too.
So the algorithms on TikTok run by a point system. Did you know that?
Yes. Yeah. I seen a girl break it down the other day and I was like, wow.
6 points for comments, 3 points for shares, and 1 point for likes. So you got to get people to share and share and comment. That's what you got to get people to like too, but like doesn't hold a lot of weight. It's the sharing and the commenting on your product. So for those of you who are watching and you want to know how to really go with the TikTok and make it happen, that's what you got to do. You got to the algorithm is looking at the comments and it's scoring it high with the 6 points. They're looking at your shares, that's 3 points, and likes are 1 point. So you got to get those numbers up, because even if you don't have that many followers or subscribers, if they're coming and sharing, you're going to gain those. And that's what they're looking at. So the more people are coming and sharing on your stuff, the more TikTok is going to promote it. A lot of people don't understand TikTok. Now, I happen to think that I think TikTok is a great platform. I'm kind of skeptical of Instagram. Sorry, Instagram, because I always hear people get like Instagram horror stories. And I also realize that a new entrepreneur just starting, pick one platform. We have too many. So pick one and learn that one first and just go. I made the mistake of trying to be everywhere, all across the board. And I'm everywhere. This show is everywhere, right? But can I tell you that I don't know any one platform like 100%? I do not, because I'm everywhere.
Right.
So for me, that was a missed opportunity. I can always go back and learn, which I've been doing. That's how I know about TikTok, right? But if you are just starting out, follow what Kalisha's saying. She's over on TikTok. She's setting up the TikTok shop. TikTok is still trying to grow. They want to listen. TikTok is owned by the Chinese. They want to own everything.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep. Everything.
So spend some time learning TikTok. This is my advice. And people that love YouTube will probably say learn YouTube. People that love Instagram will say learn Instagram. The ones that love Twitter, they're gonna tell you that. When I look at TikTok, they're paying a lot of money right now. So she's in the right place at the right time. She probably has an amazing product, and I'm sure I'm gonna find you over there. I got 2 TikTok accounts. I don't know which one I'm gonna be finding you on, but you might see one. I just launched a new one, so I'll probably find you on that one. So I saw this picture on your Instagram. The person had looked like a black young lady. She had shaved on her arm. It was real dark. And then she used one of your products, and it became lighter. What was that product, and why did that happen? Because, I'm sure she take a bath and wash on her arm all the time. What was the difference between just regular soap and the product she used that you made to make the blackness under her arm go away?
So that picture that you see, that's my mom's armpit.
Really?
My mom is allergic to the deodorant ingredients. Oh. So it made her rash really bad. So I said, okay, Mom, I'm gonna make you something. I went in the kitchen and I just got the sugar scrubs and I put like turmeric and stuff, little essential oils. And I said, try this. And I said, I'm gonna take a before and after picture. I took the before and she came back 2 weeks later, it was gone. I was like, wow.
What?
I was like, I hit a holy grail.
Wow. You know how many people are like that? My daughter is like that. She's fair-skinned. She's not light-skinned, but she's lighter. And her underarms are darker than mine. I'm way darker than she is. And I'm like, and I couldn't figure out, why is that happening? So I'm going to have to tell her that, because I'm sure that she hasn't said anything, but I noticed it. I'm like, I'm way darker than she is, and my underarm is not like that.
Right.
But hers is darker than dark like my skin. Hers is dark like that. And she's probably light like you. Yep. So it's like that thing. So you gave it a scrub. It worked. So you go to her YouTube channel. Her Instagram channel. It worked. There's a picture there. But what does she do now for deodorant? What does she use now?
She switched her deodorant. She went to the natural food store. I think 7 Under downtown. Yes. And they took they sell natural skincare products, so they sell like deodorants and stuff. So she went in there and picked one up, and then for a while she was using the small little key limes. A lot of the natural small key limes, you can actually use it as deodorant, the words to it, because a lot of people break out from the ingredients that's in deodorant. A lot of people, you'll be surprised how many people break out from it. But yeah, that's what she was using afterwards. But every now and then she might put on some regular deodorant, Dove or one of them, and they might break out. So she'll just use the sugar scrub and then change the way she uses it and how she uses it.
So why haven't you done a deodorant? Because I feel like that's another product there. Your mom is living proof.
Yes, I want to do a deodorant. I have thought about it, that and a perfume. So I was like, I want to do one, but I'm trying to stick to my niche. So I want to create a deodorant so they can go along with the sugar scrub, because that's where it started.
Yep. I think you should. Like, I have been toying around with my daughter called me. I've been trying to go natural, because she called me and she said, hey, stop putting perms in your hair. I've been perming my hair forever. Stop putting perms in your hair. And I keep telling her, girl, I'm losing right now. Me and this not perming my hair is losing, but I've been natural probably 2 months now. And but I want to do better. Like I want to do better with my health. And I don't have bad health, but I want to keep good health,
Yes.
And I know deodorants are pretty much bad for you, but I don't want to be walking around funky either. So I got the,
Yeah.
and I had a natural deodorant. I'm a perfume kind of person. Like when everybody know they can't figure out what to buy me, perfume is always good, right? So I can't imagine me not having. I tried a deodorant, a natural deodorant one time. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the smell of it. It was like eucalyptus or something. It was something that I just didn't like, and I was like, I
Yeah.
can't wear it. I smell it all day long. I can't wear it. I didn't like it.
Right. That's the challenge of creating a natural based deodorant. That's a real challenge because most of the products that they're created to deodorize us and keep the body odor down, it's a chemical.
Yeah.
It's a chemical.
Mm.
Can I tell you a story about the
Yes, please do. Please
natural
do.
hair?
Please
So when I
do.
was in class, I was in school to be a forensic scientist, and this is a little gruesome, but we went in to do like an autopsy of an African American woman, and they cut you sometimes in your head if you depending on your injuries. So when they peeled her scalp back, they saw all the layers of perm from all the years that she had perm.
What?
So yes, and just imagine what that does to your brain. So that's just a key point. You're on the right path. Keep going. I'm natural too, so I
I
don't put
got
anything in my hair either. So
I got to figure it out though, Kalisha, because I'm still trying to make these edges like lay down and be nice, girl. That's my. I can't stand like my hair is fine, right? I can't stand my edges, so I found this
okay.
edge control. It lays them down really hard. So my granddaughter was over yesterday, and she was like, she doing like that. She said, "Gia,
Real
that
hard,
is really
right?
hard." She said, and I can kind of lift it. I said, "Don't lift it up. Leave it alone. It is
No.
really hard because you need the edges to lay down." So that's funny. Um, right
Yeah.
now it's just you're just a one woman show.
Mhm.
You want to scale. Where are you distributing the products at now? Is it just online or are you in stores?
It's just online right now, and I'm gonna be doing a lot of vending this summer.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be at a lot of shows. I was gonna do the Talia Wahid at the end of April, but I think I'm gonna do a different one that's coming up because they're gonna have Juneteenth festivals,
Yeah.
and if you go to my Instagram, I'm gonna be posting where I'm gonna be at.
Yeah. Yeah. So have you thought about going through the Shopify and attach and hooking up with like Amazon and Walmart? Because Shopify, you can, if you have a product or a service, you can pretty much distribute to all these platforms through Shopify. Now
Right.
that being said, that you may start getting a bunch of orders, and I don't know if your manpower will handle that. So do you have like a plan to roll out your distribution over the next, 6 to 12 months?
Oh yeah. What happened is I already have inventory that I've accumulated over, a year or so because
Hmm.
my sugar scrubs wasn't a thing I was doing at first. So I have an inventory of all my other skincare products such as my facial washes, my men products, beard oils, shaving creams, vitamin C serums, face mist. I have all of those, and I have a charcoal face wash. I already have inventory for those. So I do want to roll out and potentially be in a store, but I know you have to have a certain caliber of sales before you can get somewhere inside of a store or something.
Well, not really. So if you go through Shopify,
Hmm.
if you go through Shopify, Shopify has programs where you can actually be in Amazon, Walmart, it's Amazon, I think Target, and it's a bunch of them, but you can actually be digitally in all of those places with your product.
Okay,
So if you
so I have
go
to
through
look into
the
that.
yeah, go through Shopify. Shopify is an amazing platform for entrepreneurs, and they have a specific unit just for African American in business.
Okay,
So I was a part of that group, and we would meet with the LA team would come in and meet and mentor us. It was no charge. It was just like to help us grow, which I thought that was phenomenal of Shopify to even put in place. And then they have all these different apps. And the only thing I would say about Shopify is create a budget before you go to Shopify, because There are so many. It's like WordPress. Like if you did a WordPress website, there are millions of
Yeah.
plugins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shopify is the same way. You do your Shopify store, it looks amazing, but you want to be in Walmart and Target and Amazon and all these places all at once without having to manage all of those separately. There are apps on there that you can manage directly through that one app for all of those places.
Okay.
But that starts to add up. And Shopify is like one of the things you get addicted to because you're like, oh, I like that app. You ever go to somebody's website and at the bottom it says somebody in Georgia just bought this product. Somebody in
Yeah.
that's an app, right? But you gotta pay for
Right.
it. But it's a cool app because now you see people who come there see that somebody just paid for it or they just bought it 3 days ago. They bought this product. It's cool because now it's like social proof when they come to your website.
Right.
Other thing I would suggest is you put a bot on your website, like not just a regular bot, because a regular bot is going to answer a few questions. Put like a bot that can answer every question that people have asked you personally about your company. Like one of the questions I had is, what's the shelf life of the products? Because you say you had some stuff stored up. What is the shelf life? Because I've had products where the shelf life was horrible. I had a mango product. It was so funny. I had a mango product, right? Body butter, right? I love mango. I love body butters, but I had a bunch of them because I buy a lot of them. By the time I got to the last one, it smelled like sour mango.
Mm.
And it wasn't a year. It was probably like maybe 4 or 5 months. So, what's the shelf life? Because I'm sure that's a question you get asked a lot too. Like, what's the shelf life? But answer those questions for people before they ask you.
Okay.
And you can create a smart bot for that. Then put it direct on your website, and just let it answer every single question you may have. And then go and check out your competitors and see what people are asking them and put it in your bot.
Okay.
That's a tip, y'all.
I
Listen,
have a bot.
we don't have to recreate stuff. There's a lot of information out there, and there may be questions that someone is asking from your competitors just right there in plain sight that you may not have even thought about. And then you take and you train your smart bot, put that bot on your website, not just a regular bot, because a lot of websites now come with the bot. You have to train the bot on your stuff. So, and that takes a tiny bit of work, but not a lot of work. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But another thing I wanted to ask you now, I don't know about where are you located? You in Atlanta?
I'm in Gwinnett.
Oh, you're in Gwinnett. Okay. So Gwinnett, the Kroger's in Gwinnett, they have some kind of local merchant program where you can put your stuff in Kroger's, especially the one over here on Grayson Highway in Lawrenceville. I don't know about the one in Grayson Highway in Grayson, but someone told me that. So if you have a product, they supposed to have a local vendor program just for local vendors.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna
check
have
that
to look
out.
into that.
Yeah, check that out. And also check out Sprouts. Sprouts is very healthy.
Oh yes, Sprouts.
Check out Sprouts.
Okay.
I see a lot of I see a lot of stuff in there that's not by big box manufacturers. It's really like stuff like you, from people like you who are independent business owners, and their stuff is on the shelf in Sprouts. So check the Sprouts as well.
Okay, will do.
All right.
I will do.
Listen, I can't help it, y'all. When I know something, I have to share it. And Lord knows, 27 years, I know a
Thank you.
bit. I know a bit about a bit of things. I said I was a
Yes.
diehard forever. I'm a diehard forever. What do you want to say to the new entrepreneur who's going into skincare and in the space that you're in right now?
I want to say just don't give up. Don't give up on your dream. Like I still have mine. I've been working on mine for a while, and granted, I have more than one. So, we get sidetracked when you have more than one. So don't give up. Don't never lose faith. Don't stop. Keep going. Like keep trying. Put your effort in. Especially for the Gen Zs. Keep going.
What are some of the challenges you had to overcome since you've launched the business?
Just having that confidence to think that, or to know that I'm good at what I do. I know I'm good at what I do now, but when I first started, I didn't have that confidence. I was like, maybe, and real shy. So now I'm at to the point where I know I have a what you call a holy grail that I can massively reproduce and make it really good to be everywhere.
I like you said having that confidence, and that's so important, y'all. Like, you know what you know, and you have to stand on that. And people will challenge you. Listen,
yeah.
People will challenge you. They think they know more than you. They think they're in your head. They think they can, and it's crazy because I get challenged all the time. Like, look, you're not in my head. You know what you know. I know what I don't know, but I do know what I know. And the things that I know.
Yes.
You know. So
absolutely.
people would challenge you, and you gotta, sometimes you have to, you just have to step back and say, look, just like Kalisha said, and I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people won't say they don't have the confidence, right?
Yeah.
They try to put things out there to mask the fact that they don't have the confidence. They hide behind paper, they hide behind degrees, all of this stuff. And really, it's having that inner knowing that I know what I know. I'm quick to say, and I'm gonna tell a quick story, and we're gonna put your website up. I remember when I started my very first company, right? We didn't know what the heck we were doing. We were manufacturing something, never manufactured anything in our lives. And so my business partner, we would go to these meetings with these investors, right? They're astute investors. They're on Wall Street. We spent like a year on Wall Street trying to get investment dollars, right? And we would go to these meetings, and she would be kind of like not want to say we ain't got no money. I'm like, look, we don't have no money. That's why we're here.
Yep.
Because I had to say that, because I don't want them to think, because they start out saying stuff like, well, you need to give us like $5,000 before we can even get you to one point. And I was like, yeah, we don't have 5,000. That's why we're here, sir.
Yes.
So sometimes you have to be bold enough to say, I don't know what I don't know.
Exactly.
But I'm going to learn. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Well, listen, I'm going to invite you to become a member of the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
We have a gala coming up in March. Listen, if you're in the Gwinnett area, even if you're not, we're going to be wearing green on March the 15th. That just happened to go and kind of coincide with St. Patrick's Day. That was not the purpose of the green. I know people have asked me, is it because of St. Patrick's Day coming on Sunday? No, I have forgot about St. Patrick's Day. Actually, it was me. It's an initiative we're rolling out. And so the theme is wear green. The Gwinnett Women's Chamber Gala is March the 15th at 6 p.m. If you want more information about the gala, go to GwinnettWomen'sChamber.com, GwinnettWomen'sChamber.com, GwinnettWomen'sChamber.com. You'll see it there. Just click on the tab that says Gala, and you can get your ticket. Ticket sales, we close the ticket on March the 8th because we have to give a final count to our event venue, so we'll know how many people are coming, so we make sure that this is a memorable and fun event for you guys. So we're going to be having an award celebration and dinner and dancing. So it's the whole shebang bang. If you're from Jersey, listen, Jersey. If you're listening to the Sounders and you're here in Gwinnett County, Decatur, Atlanta, Johns Creek, Swanee, wherever you are, you're from Jersey, the DJ is from Jersey. But that only applies if you used to club back in the day. If you didn't club back in the day, it doesn't matter to you. But if you club back in Jersey back in the day, our DJ is from Jersey. I just want to throw that out there just so because you probably haven't heard any good Jersey music in a long time. So I'm excited about that. So anyway, I would love to invite you to become a member. I'm going to pop up Kalisha's website right here. If you want to get your inner glow on, check her out, man. I'm going to check her out. I love body scrubs. So I'm going to go back through the website and find some. Check her out. If you like body scrubs like me, go to her site, yourinnerglow.co. Don't that sound so cute? It's short and sweet. Yourinnerglow.co.
Yes.
Kalisha, if you haven't figured it out by now, I like to have fun.
Yes, ma'am.
I like to have fun. And when people mess up my fun, I'm not happy. So I had to get on here this morning and have fun because I had some challenges.
Yes.
Yourinnerglow.co.
Yes, yourinnerglow.co. Let it shine.
That's right. So thank you for being my guest today. I really appreciate you. And if anything that me and the chamber could do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We have a bunch of events at the chamber. I try to support as much as I can to the women who join the chamber, especially as it pertains to this type of stuff like media and marketing and things like that. So we try to support as much as we can with that and training. We want to know who you need to bring, who you need for us to put at the table with you. And we do our best to try to bring those people to the table for you. So I hope you join us. If not, it's good seeing you. I wish you much, much, much success and stay connected. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. All right, you're very welcome. Listen, guys, that's all I got for you today. I'll be back again with another great episode. So be sure to listen. Be sure to subscribe to the show. If you miss any episodes of the show, go to goodmorninggwinnett.com to listen to past episodes there and follow me and connect with me on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Good Morning Gwinnett. That's where I am. And you can also go download the app from the App Store, check it out on Spotify, listen to it on Alexa. Kalisha, I'm everywhere. I'm all over the place, even on Alexa. All you got to do is say, Alexa, play the most recent version of Good Morning Gwinnett, and Alexa say, okay, here's the most recent version. I'm everywhere. So check us out on all of those platforms. Be back again tomorrow, 10 a.m., same time, same place. You guys stay safe out there. And until next time, my friends, until next time, make it a great day. Bye, everybody.
You've been watching or listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the show today and share it with your friends by going to www.goodmorninggwinnett.com.